local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
Your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
We are CRN.
Stay tuned. We're live in 3 minutes. We're live in 2 minutes.
We are CRN.
Stay tuned. We're live in 1 minute. Seconds until showtime. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Vinson's Pub and Eatery on 800 East Main Street has been a go-to destination for the Clayton Comets community and everybody of C-Town. Vinson's Pub and Eatery takes care of all of your food and beverage needs for weekly specials, appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, the entrees, the Vinson special salads. Hey, do you like the desserts? I do too. Side desserts, delicious beverages from soda products, sweet tea, and yes, even your adult beverages. Big screen televisions cover all the action with your favorite sporting events. And the home of Comets Football Weekly every Tuesday night for Vinson's Pub and Eatery. 800 East Main Street. Tell them the Community Radio Network sent you. Vinson's Pub and Eatery. Good food, good fun, and go Comets! Hey, it's Wesley Outland, the voice of the Clayton Comets on the Community Radio Network. We are excited for a new broadcasting season, and Vinson's Pub and Eatery is on board for another year. Located at 800 East Main Street in Clayton, Vinson's Pub and Eatery is the hotspot location every Tuesday night from August to November on the road to a state championship with Comets Football Weekly. Join Coach Scott Chadwick and myself, other CRN colleagues, dignitaries, the players, the coaches, the insight to the game before Friday Night Lights. Vinson's Pub and Eatery is where you need to be every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Comets Football Weekly. We're looking forward to having it live on the radio as always at wearecrn.com. But nothing compares to seeing it in person. Comets Football Weekly, CRN, Tuesday. Vinson's Pub and Eatery, join us.
Look at you go. The one-trip grocery champ, snooze button resistor, master sock matcher. We know the daily grind can be tough, but amidst the hustle, we see you conquer it all. And at Scooter's Coffee, we believe it's the little wins that deserve some big moments of joy. So go on, embrace that tiny triumph. You master parallel Parker you. Take that victory lap and savor the sweet taste of success. Scooter's Coffee, you didn't just order it, you earned it.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
The following is an exclusive broadcast presentation of the Community Radio Network. We are CRN. More details at wearecrn.com. Since 2018, CRN, proud to be the voice of the Clayton Comets. The following is an exclusive broadcast presentation of the Community Radio Network. We are CRN.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Well, it's good to be back at Vinson's Pub and Eatery, Main Street in Clayton. And the Comets coming off for the comeback game, down by 14 points in the first quarter. In Garner, Trojan Stadium, they come back and they get a big, big win over their Wake County rival, the Garner Trojans. But now the big battle is upon us. The conference championship also lies ahead again as well as we prepare for Halloween night in less than 3 days' time. Nixon-Fowler Stadium, the Cleveland Rams, and the Clayton Comets. Coming up tonight on Comets Football Weekly, Season 3, Episode 10, we will recap the Garner comeback win, as I call, 34-22 over the Trojans, and set the stage for Cleveland and Clayton and yet another year to end the season. Conference title on the line. Coach Scott Chadwick is alongside. Kim Winslow, our lead Allstate sideline reporter, is here as well as we recap Garner, get you ready for Cleveland. It is the biggest matchup, and a lot of people call the JoCo Football Bowl. This Friday night, Halloween night at Vinson's Pub and Eatery is where we are. It is Tuesday on a rainy October 28th, 2025. Comets Football Weekly starts right now.
Comets country, it's time. Are you ready? From football to basketball, baseball, softball, and lacrosse, and even volleyball to soccer, and so much more. From the diamond to the field and the court, it's time for Clayton Comets Athletics. And we are now on the air for broadcast coverage exclusively on CRN, the Community Radio Network.
If you're a little chilly, Coach, I'll tell them to cut the heat back on.
I wouldn't mind.
It was hot earlier. Like it was, even the table was hot. So
yeah, they can turn
it back
on.
up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
So want to make sure you're comfortable. So, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to again another episode of Comets Football Weekly. We're located at Vinson's Pub and Eatery, 800 East Main Street. Thank you as always to Angie and Caroline, all the amazing staff, the hospitality, and don't forget Maybe there'll be a big after party Friday night.
Sure hope so.
Coach, rainy Tuesday, but the show goes on. How you doing, sir?
Good, excited, glad to be here.
You know, we were talking briefly via text on Friday night and throughout the weekend. Hope everybody out there in Comic Country had a great weekend as well. Obviously, it makes it so much more special whenever it's a W on a Friday night, right? 34-22. I texted you and I said this was the comeback game, right? Down by 14, some mistakes made, an emotional game. Robbie, Mark, myself, Kim on the call on Friday night at Trojan Stadium. Some things were not done right, but Clayton turned it around. They turned the corner, had an explosive 3 unanswered touchdowns in the second quarter, and then they went on to really get a big win in Garner.
Yeah, real proud of our guys. You know, on a night where, like you said, particularly in the first quarter there, things didn't go right. We didn't play very well either.
Right.
You know, it's kind of a combination of some bad breaks, but I think more than anything, we just didn't play very well. And, you know, we hung in there and in the second quarter, you know, made a couple plays which seemed to help us kind of get our legs under us a little bit. And, you know, and then we really rolled. The last 3 quarters, you know, we kind of dominated the game there with 34-8. And I think offensively rolled up over 400 yards just in 3 quarters. So I think I was happy with how we played the last 3 quarters, but I think the most of all, I thought we showed a lot of guts down 14-0. And then, you know, in the second half, especially offensively, you know, a lot of guys had to step in and play that, you know, hadn't played a lot for us this year because we had so many injuries. So a lot of guys that had to come in there and really do the job for us in the second half.
In the words of Kim Winslow, it looked like a MASH unit on the sideline Friday night, and obviously several injuries, several players down, some key players.
Yeah, at one point we couldn't really have our usual offensive and defensive meetings on the bench because the bench was occupied by so many guys that were injured. There was no room to have our actual meetings that we usually have.
I think 5 or 6, right, that had some type of health issue, injury, something of that caliber.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5, and all of them were offensive players.
Yeah, and I will tell you, obviously, the key ones, I believe, is Alvarez. I think he's got a torn ACL. Is that what we're told?
We should be getting some word on that hopefully today or tomorrow, but looks like it's probably going to be a long-term one.
Wow.
Probably going to be without our starting center, Wesson Barth, this week. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to get into that. He had a concussion. I understand they're following concussion protocol, right?
So seems to be going pretty well. So we'll see how that works.
Could we possibly see him suit up? Maybe.
I don't know. You can ask him. He's sitting over there. Ask him yourself.
What's up, Wes? You feeling better? Oh, yeah, obviously you want to be in the game, right? It's Cleveland and Clayton. It's like the Battle of the Hatfields and McCoys, no doubt about it. It's going to be a barn burner coming up on Friday night. But, Coach, at the end of the day, Clayton did what they needed to do, and you said that last week. You said it to your team. 1 game at a time. Here's our goals. Here's our accomplishments. This is what we need to do. You got to win on the road in Garner, 34-22. And with that win, I believe you've locked up a bye for round 1 of the playoffs, correct?
Yes, and what I was pleased about last Friday was the way that we came back, the way that we fought, but we actually accomplished a lot. You know, we secured ourselves a first-round bye in the playoffs, which I think is going to be huge. To have that week off, a chance to recover, and really not have to play a game, I think will be huge. And then, you know, we put ourselves in a position that this week means something. It's not just a rivalry game. It's a chance to win the conference. It's a chance to get us probably move into the top 4, which would then get us potentially a bye in 2 home playoff games.
Right.
So I think
we've been down this road before, though. It seems like all the time when Cleveland and Clayton suit up, it's for the conference championship.
Yeah, I think, you know, the stakes have been high just like this the last 2 years. I think the slight difference this year is that, you know, the loser the last couple of years the loss has been much more
detrimental.
Exactly.
You
because
fall.
you fell so far in the playoff seedings, and it was us, so I know. We both years we would have been the number 1 overall seed with the win, and I think we fell to 13 and then 12. So the stakes were in that respect a little bit higher because of how far you could fall in the seeding. So at least losing the game this year, the loser's not going to be as taxed because I think the state's done a much better job of understanding that you can't continue to count all conferences equally when they are absolutely not equal.
I want to let everybody know that if you're listening on the Community Radio Network, we are now doing our Comets Football Weekly show live on our CRN YouTube channel. We will still occupy Facebook and still do all the things that we do in the world of social media, but we will not be doing any more live things until they get their algorithms and their censorship done. For some reason, they blocked us.
You're taking a shot at Zuckerberg
I am.
there.
I'm ticked off, man. I'm telling you. They've done it to me 3 times personally, banning my own account. And then we're doing a football game last Thursday, and then they turn around and ban it. They gave it back to us yesterday. But I will tell you that we'll be joining the world of YouTube from now on for any video or streaming or anything like that, and that's where we're at right now. So, Coach, I had somebody text me this morning, and they said, Cleveland's 9-0. Clayton is 7-2. How does Clayton, with 2 losses, propel to win the conference championship? Like, what opens the door to let that happen? Can you explain that?
Obviously, that person isn't up with what's going on because it's very simple. We have one of our losses is out of the conference. So there's that. And if we win, we will have the same exact conference record as Cleveland.
Right.
And if you look in the NCHSSA handbook, it clearly states that if 2 teams in a conference are tied and they played each other, the winner of the game that they played is declared the conference champion.
There you go.
It's not brain surgery.
I don't think that per se they know all of the lingo, the all the stats of that caliber.
That's how it works.
But we do appreciate them asking that question on the CRN Facebook. So nonetheless, again, these 2 teams will meet. And Coach, let's go back to Garner. I mean, we looked and saw some amazing play. Like obviously, Mark said it best a couple of weeks ago at Southeast Raleigh and some other times. We need somebody to step up. We need people to be there whenever their time, when their number's called, to make plays, to be there to make stops, do things and make it happen to get a win. And obviously we saw that in the character of Clayton on the road at Garner Friday.
Yeah, I think the big touchdown pass from Aiden to D'Angelo Ruffin kind of got things started, got us moving a little bit. And then the defense stepped in there and got the 3 and out. And then we were able to get, Carson in there in our 2 quarterback package, and he was able to hit Terrace on that inside shuffle pass that, got us down. We were able to score there. But I think, like you said, we had some guys step up. I thought Keyshawn Stansel played probably his best game of the season the other night. He was dominant at times in the second half of the game. The other part was we had interesting call on the 4th down where it very much appeared that we had stopped them. And then they scored, but we came right back. The Noah's touchdown run was interesting because that was a bit of a, everybody kept asking me what adjustments we made when we were down. I said we didn't make any adjustments. I felt like we had a really good plan. We just needed to stick to it, and we did. But that particular play was a slight adjustment in that if I had a whiteboard, I'd draw it up for you. But we noticed when we would put 3 receivers to one side, what would become the backside safety was going way over towards the number 3 receiver and kind of vacating the middle of the field.
Okay.
So what I decided to do was when we were running our inside zone run play, I decided to run it out of our 3 receiver set, knowing that if Noah or Terrace could, break through, there was going to be nobody in the middle of the field because the safety would be too far over. So we did that. We went to our what we call our tray, which is our 2 receivers tight end set. Brought the safety way over to the tight end side, so that when Noah broke the run, there was no safety there, and that's how he was able to go 70 yards.
Well, it was a great game. Obviously, again, it leads up to everything that's coming up to this Friday night. You need to be there. Nixon-Fowler Stadium. It's going to be a great one. As a matter of fact, my good friend Mark Arson. Remember Mark Arson, 106.1 RDU, Big Hair Nation? He will be joining me in the booth calling the game along with Jackie and Ryan Tomford. Mark and Robbie will be there when they're not running the clock and doing stuff to maybe add some dialogue. And then, of course, Kim Winslow on the sideline. An amazing game coming up Friday night. And pregame will be at 6:30. 6:30 will be our pregame. Kickoff is at 7:30. And, again, the Greater Neuse River Conference 7A Championship on the line. Clayton, again, would win the conference tiebreaker based on head-to-head. Clayton would secure a top overall seed in the 7A East bracket. If they were to win, Clayton needs
top four.
Yes. Clayton needs to win to move into the top four. I was mentioning Cleveland. I'm sorry. In the 7A East bracket, they would move to fourth, as Coach Chadwick said. And Cleveland is trying to run their unbeaten regular season streak. I want to say it's 61, 62.
63, I think, actually. I think it'd be 63 if they win.
I know the win at Southeast Raleigh 2 weeks ago was their 60th.
Then that would be 62. This would be 62.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, Coach, is that we've come so close so many times, and it's just how frustrating is that? Or I don't want to say the word frustrating, but maybe it is, to get so close. And then the Hail Mary, right, in 2023, that one. The battle there on the turf last year at John Jacobs Stadium and how close we could have won that game. This game is filled with emotion. It's going to be going into it all 4 quarters. Somehow Clayton's got to compose themselves, right, for the game Friday night.
Well, I don't know if I'd use the word frustrating. It's been disappointing. We've missed opportunities to, you had an opportunity to be the team that beat them. You had an opportunity to win a conference championship. You had an opportunity to set yourself up to be home throughout the playoffs, and you missed it. And I think that's the frustrating part. For us, I think the difference is we need, in critical times, we need our best players to be at their best. We need, 2 years ago, we needed somebody to make a stop. That last drive before the Hail Mary, they had 3 4th downs before the Hail Mary on that drive. We just needed one play. Last year, I would say the biggest thing was we just needed not to put ourselves in quite the hole we put ourselves in the first quarter, first half. But I think the biggest thing is we need our best players when the times are critical on Friday to play their best. And I feel very confident with, a couple of the guys that we have that we'll have the best guys on the field at times, and they need to play like it.
What's the team morale like right now? Obviously, me and you were chatting about this before we came live on the air. It's hard to practice, right, with these wet conditions, and that's something that's affecting Cleveland as well. Cleveland and Clayton both, but obviously 2 or 3 days of not being able to practice hard like you want to. It's got to be, frustrating again.
I will tell you this. I was actually very encouraged today. I thought we did a great job of handling the elements today. The kids came out and practiced hard, had a lot of enthusiasm. Whatever we asked them to do, they did it. They ran around, a lot of energy, and that's not hard to do when it's raining sideways and windy. It's about 45 degrees, and it was the not ideal practice conditions to say the least. But I thought I was real pleased with practice today under the circumstances. I mean, obviously there's a lot more we would have liked to have gotten done. We'd have liked to have been out a little bit longer. But I really felt like, I felt like we got a lot done today considering the circumstances. And, it's like you said, it's not going to be perfect with the weather like this, but I felt like we at least certainly made the best of the situation.
Well, it's going to be an explosive game, no doubt about it. Friday night, Nixon-Fowler Stadium. You can go ahead and order your tickets early online if you haven't done so. And, of course, try to beat the gate. I'm expecting there's going to be a massive crowd. Obviously, it will. Kim Winslow is going to be coming up here to join us to ask questions to the coach from Garner and Cleveland. She's on the hot seat coming up next. We are taking a break. More from Vinson's Pub and Eatery, Comets Football Weekly. Cleveland, Clayton this Friday night, and we preview it as we continue with Kim next.
I'm your football obsessed best man.
When all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game. And if you didn't bundle your home and auto insurance, well, all of this could be tough to tackle. So get Allstate.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Friday night family fun starts here.
Your green flag on America's favorite bull ring.
Wake County Speedway is Raleigh's home for exciting NASCAR short track racing.
Trouble up in turn number 3.
The cars, the crowds, the throaty rumble of engines. All eyes on the green flag. Get the full schedule of races at WCSpeedway.com.
They're coming to the checkered flag.
Wake County Speedway, just 10 minutes south of downtown Raleigh off US 401.
Look at you go. The one-trip grocery champ, snooze button resistor, master sock matcher. We know the daily grind can be tough, but amidst the hustle, we see you conquer it all. And at Scooter's Coffee, we believe it's the little wins that deserve some big moments of joy. So go on, embrace that tiny triumph. You master parallel Parker you. Take that victory lap and savor the sweet taste of success. Scooter's Coffee, you didn't just order it, you earned it.
Atwell Exterior Services, the time is now. With mortgage interest rates up, so many smart homeowners are renovating rather than moving right now, and those who hire Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville are thrilled that they did. For residential roof replacement, roof repairs, roof inspections, and more, done right by a local family business with awesome customer reviews, please visit AtwellEXTServices.com or call to set up a free inspection. Atwell Exterior Services, honesty, integrity, experience. The time is now.
Eastern Technical Design Incorporated provides design and drafting services for commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Services include architectural renderings, preliminary plan design, as well as final construction drawings. These drawings include all the necessary structural, building, plumbing, and mechanical electrical plans as required to produce and deliver a finished building and/or structure. This company is proudly owned by LFRL's Tracy Brown. Eastern Technical Design. Contact them today at 252-245-1599 or email them at easterntechnicaldesign@gmail.com. Commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Eastern Technical Design is the perfect plan for your building needs. We're back here again, Comets Football Weekly. Vinson's Pub and Eatery, Main Street. Jackie just chimed in. She said, "Coach, it looks like we need to add a whiteboard to the stage for next season for Coach Chadwick." What do you think, man?
I think that's a great idea.
Hey, before we bring it to Kim, I got a couple of things I need to throw out there. Mr. Bill Royale sent me a message. Bill Royale from the Clayton Civitan Club. He wants to let everybody know that after a year absence, the Clayton Civitan Club is back with the Pork Butt Fundraiser. They'll be cooking 200 pork butts on November the 21st, along with a jar of Boy Scouts famous barbecue sauce. Contact them directly, of course, at the Clayton Civitan Club social media. $45 a piece. Johnston County Special Olympics is where they are making the donations towards. Contact Bill Royal directly at 919-333-5791. They are going fast. I've already ordered 4.
4 butts.
4 butts.
Right.
One for me. Got some for my mom and dad, and maybe an extra one. We love them. They last about a week longer or so, but they are delicious. All right. In other news, JV football, their finale of the season, Thursday night, 6:30 from John Jacobs Stadium in Cleveland. As always, we will have it on the Community Radio Network. And now bring in our lead Allstate sideline reporter, Kim Winslow. Kim, ready to hash the brain of the coach here for getting ready for Cleveland and Clayton, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, I actually had to borrow his glasses. I didn't bring my readers, and I couldn't even read my notes. Getting too old. But taking it back to the Garner game, you were referencing even last year with Cleveland, digging ourselves in a hole and not being able to get out of it. This past Friday night, looked like Clayton was getting off to a good start, had a big 46-yard pass play to Parker Ferguson, and then we fumbled it. They run it all the way back to the 5-yard line, I think it was.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they fumbled it right back to us. We couldn't do anything with it. The first 3 drives started, fumble, punt, got down 14-0. But then, as you said, in the second quarter, turned it around with 3 straight scores to go in at halftime. It looked like Clayton had got that momentum, and the defense had made stops. I think they held Garner to, drives of 2 yards, 12 yards, in the end of the first half. However, Garner gets the ball to start the second half and marches down the field and scores. Then it looked like we were going to start our next drive at like the 3-yard line after kind of mishandled on a kickoff, went 97 yards.
Yeah.
How important was it to have that sustained drive, or that drive? I think there was a big play in there, though, too, to answer that touchdown to start the second half.
The probably the key play of that drive was when we were backed up on the 3. We caught a deep pass to Parker Ferguson, and we got the pass interference call.
Yep.
So it allowed us to kind of get out of our own end and give us a little bit of working room. And then, like I said, we made the slight adjustment on the run, and Noah busted it. I really felt like there was a lot of different big plays in the game, but I feel like the run from Noah might have been the biggest just because
it got us, answered.
It was an answer, got us back in front. And again, for like the 3rd time, it seemed like allowed everybody to just kind of take a deep breath and then go play. But I'll be honest with you, one of the things that people, it doesn't stand out because we didn't score. But my favorite drive of the night was our last drive of the game.
Yeah.
Where we got
even
the
though
ball.
You didn't score, you still ran the clock out.
Yeah, we got the ball back with
5.5
sorry if I'm stealing
No,
your
I was going to say,
thunder.
but how important, I think I marked it down. It's like 5.5 minutes.
It was 5 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock when we got the ball back, and we did not give it back to them, and we did not throw a single pass.
That's right.
And about half of those carries were by a freshman.
Yes.
Caitlin Rogers.
With a banged-up shoulder.
Exactly.
That's right.
Thought that was my favorite drive of the night, even though it didn't yield any points.
Well, it was funny because I said in the broadcast, I said, we could really use a 5-minute drive right now.
Yes, you did.
Just controlled it because most of the game, there were a lot of big plays. I think there was 5 plays of over 40 yards, whether it was run or pass. And then even like you said, the one where there was the pass interference call. But then to be able to have a couple sustained drives that chewed up some clock, to be able to have both of that is kind of a blessing as a play call.
Our third touchdown of the night it was a 14-play drive.
Yes.
The one that gave us the lead in the end of the first half was a 14-play drive. So we had a 14-play drive, a 97-yard drive, and then a 5-minute and 45-second drive that ended the game.
And let's be honest, that last touchdown scored by Garner was based on emotion. Because they literally, you got called, right? Didn't you get called for unsportsmanlike? Can you kind of dab into that a little bit again?
Well, that was on that fourth down play, right?
Well,
where they spotted it.
We felt like the way the ball was marked and where the chains were, that they had not made the line.
Right.
And I was literally just pointing at the stick and pointing where the ball was.
And he flags you.
And they wouldn't measure. They just were insisting on just moving the chains. and I couldn't understand why we were moving the chains without measuring and without, so, I'm just standing there just trying to stick up for my defense because I thought they made a great play.
Right. And that actually, it's funny you mentioned that, and it's actually on the video too, because we recorded the game and put it up on our YouTube CRN later that night. There's a time, Kim, and you can remember, where one referee was standing a yard to the other direction, and then the other referee was a yard to the opposite of the first down marker, and it's like you're not even in sync with one another here.
And that makes it very tough. But you talked about, needing on Friday your best players to be the best out there. When we talked about those big plays, those were all by 5 different players. Like, talk about being able to spread it around, and anybody on any given night can be the go-to big play guy.
Well, and again, I think that's probably one of the beauties of what we do offensively is we are able to kind of spread the ball around, and it makes it difficult to defend us because you don't know who can do that. And like you said, Parker made a big play. D'Angelo made a big play the other night. Noah with the long run, and Aiden with 2 or 3 big runs.
Yep.
Right.
So I think it does make us very difficult to defend, and for the most part, all season we've been able to spread it around and move the ball around enough that people can't defend us.
Well, and being able to have those 45-yard pass plays, several of those during the game, and what that does to open up the run game.
No doubt. And it backs them out of the box, and like you said, it does very much help open the run game when you can complete the deep ball.
We talked about the MASH unit on the sideline. I mean, they were dropping like flies one after another there at the end of the first half. But after the game, you pointed out, obviously, Barth goes out. Ooh,
sorry.
You just wound that up. Goes out injured. Ovani Flores has to move from right guard into center, and then Aaron Gerhardt comes in to play right guard. Talk about how important it was for those two to make that adjustment. Aaron coming in and showing up. You kind of gave a shout out at the end of the game, and just what that means for a team that it is literally next man up.
Well, I felt I'm not usually big on singling guys out in the huddle after the game because you're always afraid you're going to miss something and you haven't seen the film, but in that particular case, I felt like Aaron's a guy that has been in this program for 4 years, has never once ever complained about his role, shows up every day, and I don't think he's ever missed a workout, missed a practice. He's literally what I call a lunch pail guy because he walks around he's got his big cooler, he's got his big old lunch box, and then the other night when he had to step in there in the second half of the biggest half of football, that we were going to play this season, he stepped in there and we didn't miss a beat, and so I was real happy for him. But I also felt like it was something that needed to be acknowledged that you never know when your number is going to be called, and he's a guy. A lot of times when people aren't getting to play, they pout and they complain. So when their opportunity comes, they're not ready because they've spent their time, instead of getting ready, they've spent it pouting and complaining. Well, Aaron has never once pouted and complained. He's always gone and gotten himself ready so that if his number was called, he could do what he did on Friday night.
And it was called, and it was needed. So getting ready for Friday night, obviously there's so much, emotion sometimes that goes in with this game just because of, the close finishes the past couple of years. Starting off, last Friday night, it just seemed like some of the guys were a little, I didn't know how best to describe it, but kind of frenetic. They were, they had to get settled down. And then it was almost like they started getting a little tense because all of a sudden now a hole had been built.
14-0.
Yeah. But they, leveled out and they got to it. How do you ensure, or how do they get themselves ready to go from the opening kickoff? Because as we know, playing this game every year, just the littlest things, you can't let up for 2 series. And just being ready and kind of taking that emotion out of it.
If I knew, I'd be a millionaire.
You bottle it up.
I just think it is something we've talked about this week, is that, hey, we've got to get off to a better start in games. Even 2 weeks ago at South Garner, we win the game 42-7, but we're down 7-0 because we let them drive down the field and score to open the game up. Then the other night we're down 14-0. So we have to get off to better starts, and we have to be ready, more ready at the beginning of the game. And the one thing I've told, we're on live TV this week. We're not just you guys. We're also 102.3. We're the CBS 17 game of the week, and everybody, when they ask about things, the one thing I've said is that we haven't played a 4-quarter game yet. I mean, we have not. We have not played 4 quarters in a game. We've had, many games where we've played really, really good for 2 or 3 quarters, but we've yet to have a game where we've played all 4 quarters. And man, it would be really nice if
this would be a good time for it to happen.
Kicks 102.3 FM will have coverage. JoCo Sports Game of the Week as well on JoCoSportsOnline.com. The Community Radio Network, obviously our buddies Jay Sonhalter and, Mr. Patrick Keenis.
Patrick Johnson. Got my man Patrick
Johnson will be in the house. Cool, my buddy out of Greenville. So they'll be on the call for the TV coverage of the WRDC Friday Night Rivals. A lot of media coverage leading up to the game. I remember last year they put you on Mike and Amanda on QDR to promote Cleveland and Clayton.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her this week. She's too busy standing on our sidelines cheering to get me on there, I think. Yeah.
But you talked about the slow start in the last game, but again, this is the 3rd game in a row where you had to essentially respond to a quarterback you weren't preparing for. I think last week on the Coaches Weekly, you mentioned, hey, at least this time we know. But at the same time, I think they used 3 different quarterbacks.
They did, and they ended up using 3 different ones.
Yes, they did.
We were not expecting the JV quarterback to play like he did. They ended up using 3 different guys. So I feel confident that this week we know what we're getting and we know who we're getting and we know how to prepare.
Hey, but it says a lot for the defense being able to respond. I think, in each of those games, they've given up opening drives for touchdowns. But then the defense has turned around and responded.
Yeah, the Coach Jones and the staff there and the help that he gets from Eddie Price, those guys have done a really good job of making in-game adjustments. And it's definitely shown, 2 weeks ago, again, we give up 7 on the opening drive and they don't score again. The other night we give up 14 and they scored once after that. So, we do a really good job of making the in-game adjustments. And I think if you ask him, he'd like to tell you they not have to adjust to anything and come out and play great from the start.
No, well, I know I speak for everybody that we are very excited. This game is always, I love that it's the last game of the season. I love this year that it's at home, just having that in environments. And just, again, how we play at home typically.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about, I don't know if it's because, we practice there or our locker, everything's there. Maybe just the familiarity, certainly the advantage we get from our home crowd. But, yeah, we play very, very well at home. We play really well there. And, I told somebody that mentioned to me the 19-1 in our last 20 home games.
Yep.
And I think if you added those up and looked at them, I bet our average margin of victory in those 19 games is probably, close to 40. We don't just win at home. We dominate people at home. So we got that one though.
That one, and we all remember that one. And we're going to make up for that this week. But the weather's been really crummy today. Yesterday and today, but looking at the weather for Friday, it is going to be good fall football weather.
I mean, it looks like typical great big game weather.
Yeah, highs of the upper 60s and lows in the upper 40s for the forecast on
fall
Thursday
football
and Friday.
right there.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah,
and not a nary raindrop inside, it doesn't look like. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Miss Kim Winslow. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, all that you do. All right. And, Coach, obviously, I think we'll wrap it up from here, man. I don't know if there's any much more left to say or talk about. It's just Cleveland and Clayton. It's the big battle. It's the game. It's the title on the line again. a lot of things right it on to where things go for the playoffs also, sir.
And I want to just, follow up on what Kim said about being at home, and that needs to be a big part of Friday. We need a great game from our crowd.
Yes.
We need a great game from our crowd, and as sometimes I say, don't just come to the game, be a part of the game. It's easy to come sit there and watch. We need people to help us. We need people to be a part of the game, and the other thing is that, you talked about a lot of eyes, a lot of media coverage, a lot of attention, a big spotlight, and it's not just our football team that's in the spotlight. It's our town, our school, and our program, and so it's a chance for us to showcase not just our football team, but our town and our community, and I think that's important too. And I hope the people of Clayton take that to heart and come out there on Friday night and give us a true 12th man.
Friday night will be the 15th all-time meeting between the Cleveland Rams and the Clayton Comets, and we got home field advantage at Nixon-Fowler Stadium. In the previous 4 non-conference games from 2013 to 2016, Cleveland has 3 wins, Clayton with 1. The 9th game, which was the previous 8 Greater Neuse River Conference games, Cleveland 7, 1 win, Clayton. With playoff games on the line, we split it up back in 2020 and 2017 between Cleveland and Clayton, and the overall is 11 wins, Cleveland, 3 for Clayton, but it is time to get back at the top of the mountain again. Coach, thank you. Good luck Friday night. Thursday night as well, JB.
Thank you. Excited, and again, hope to see everybody out there Friday.
It'll be a good one. Don't forget JV Thursday night from John Jacobs Stadium. And then, of course, Varsity pregame kickoff at 6:30. We'll have, of course, the Coach's Corner presented by Clayton Chiropractic and Vinson's Pub and Eatery. Oh, and don't forget, for the final time of the regular season, Vinson's Pub and Eatery postgame party. Hopefully it'll be a big win, a celebration to come here. Join us on Main Street. It'll be a fun time, no doubt about it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our coverage here tonight. Thanks as always to Angie and Caroline and all of the amazing staff from Vinson's Pub and Eatery. The archives of the game will be uploaded soon on our CRN YouTube as well as on Facebook. And remember, Cleveland, Clayton, JV Thursday, Varsity Friday. Thanks to everybody that's a part of the Comets Athletics, Coach Scott Chadwick, Melissa Hubbard, John S. Mustin, Joe Mott. Thank you also again to Brian Hale, Shantae Woodard, she's in attendance tonight, Daniel Bird, everybody with the Comets boosters. It's going to be a big one. Thanks for tuning in. Cleveland, Clayton, Friday. Go Comets!
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Like, follow, and share the Community Radio Network via social media and Facebook at CRN Community Radio Network. Also, check us out on X, Instagram, and TikTok at CRN Sports. As always, remember to listen to the games live on your radio dial at 87.9 FM and anywhere worldwide, always at wearecrn.com. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network. This is the Community Radio Network, WCRN, 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Smithfield, North Carolina. Proud to be in the USA. We are CRN.